Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Sundays with Sully. Thank you guys for tuning in. Hopefully you had a great holiday extended weekend and you still have all 10 fingers. So, what are we talking about today, guys? Today we are talking about the Vesper Cortex. Now, we've talked about the radio, we've talked about the fact that it's a VHF and an AIS, we've talked about kind of a long software update process, but now we're going to dive into the nitty-gritty of how to actually use this radio. This radio does a lot of great things. However, it also is a little clunky sometimes to get around because people don't know necessarily where to be looking for all of those features. So, thought, you know what? Sundays with Sully, let's do a quick little video and show you guys some of the ins and the outs of how this radio works. Hopefully you find this is a good reference guide if you have one of these radios on board your boat or you're looking at buying one and you want to see what all it can do. So, without further ado, guys, let's dig in. All right, so we go to our radio. We start with a very simple VHF screen right here as we look at it, and you can see everything that is going on. Very easy to use. We can rotate this knob back and forth to change our channels. We can go ahead and swipe as well for all of those channels, or we can go to our presets as well. So very easy in that respect to use. If we want to do a push to talk, it is on the side button here. We press it, then talk. And then we also have our power and volume buttons right here. That volume button will control not only the radio volume, but your hailer volume as well. So we've got all of that there. If you ever want to just quickly save a preset or remove a preset, we go ahead, we do a long press across the bottom right here, and we can go ahead if we're on the channel we want and we have our dash marks there. If I press on it, it's going to say, hey, do I want to make that a preset? We say yes. That's now set to a preset that we can then scan through for part of our channel group. Also, while we are here, you're going to see the icon list across the top here. The first one is this bell icon right here. So that is going to be our alarms and our alerts. Our collision alarms, that's our AIS. Those are going to be boats that are going to be in our vicinity. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to hit us. It means that they are going to be in our vicinity and considered a danger for close crossings. I like to leave that off because I don't necessarily need that squawking when I'm in the harbor. Next one, pretty important. That's a man overboard. If you have a man overboard, you get the alarm. And the next one is anchor drag. We're going to go over what the anchor watch is on this and why this is a really nice feature on here. So we've got that there. We touch out of the screen, it backs out. Next one up is going to be kind of familiar to most people, and that's going to be our satellites. And this lets us know how many satellites we're tracking and info about the satellites. This orange one here is a GLONASS satellite. Then we've got our regular GPS satellites over here, and we can touch around and we can find out about those different satellites. So we back out of that. Then we've got over here is this signal strength, and that is because this radio, even though it is a corded radio down here, that cord is for power only. This radio still connects via Wi-Fi to the black box. So this is just letting us know that we're connected and what's going on there. After that, the next one over here, this little guy, that is going to let us know what's going on with our transponder. Everything's all good. You get all green lines on there. You have the stealth mode right here, which we can turn on and off. You see this guy now goes to yellow. We are no longer transmitting our AIS signal. We are only receiving. If there's any problems in your transponder, it's going to let us know right here. If the MMSI is not there, if it doesn't have GPS, it doesn't like its VHF antenna, any of those kind of things, it's going to let us know right there. So we've got that. And then across the top here, obviously, it's going to let us know what channel we're on, even if we are not in the VHF unit. And then you can see over here, high power, low power. And also, last but not least, guys, you got the arrow icon here, or you can press this button right here. And if I press that, that is going to lock that channel in. That means we can't change this channel. So nobody can come in and accidentally change that channel. If we want to unlock it, we simply press it, and now it's unlocked, and we can change our channel. So that's the last little bit of the VHF. So if we come over here, and I look at this, and I see the plotter, that's going to give us all of the targets of AIS boats around us. Now, obviously, there's quite a bit. And these circles right here represent range rings, just like on your radar. You can see half mile, 1 mile, 1.5 miles. And you can zoom in and out or move around with your hand. And then if you want to move it back and or recenter, you hit the boat icon there, and that recenters us back up. Press on any of these boats, and now we'll go ahead and get the information on that boat, and we can go ahead, we can save it as a favorite, we can figure out how to avoid it by hitting the avoid button, and it'll bring up a map, and it'll tell us how close that boat is going to be. Now obviously he is moving away, no longer a threat for us. So we go ahead and we close back out of that, and we go to here, we go to plotter, and then we go touch our screen, and now we can go around here, and you can see there's a bunch of other boats and things like that happening. So we can easily pull those up. Another thing that we can do on this right here is, if you look at the directory, this will give us a list of all of the boats that are nearby us. So if you're cruising and you don't see the name of your friend's boat, or you can't find your friend's boat, you can do it from here, and you can say, hey, you know, let's find this boat right here. And it'll tell us, find it, and it'll tell us roughly where it is. It's going to be inside that circle there nearby. So we have that going on with the plotter. VHF, we have already talked about. Instruments. Now if we come into here, these are settable. Again, with the arrow right here, I can lock this in so nobody else can change them. Or if we press that right there, it's going to unlock it, and then I can change this to different things, whatever I would like right there for this to be on my NEMA network. So we've got all of that right there, very easy to set. Find the page you like, and then go from there. And then what I like to do is lock it in. You can see across the bottom we've got different formats of how we want to present that same information. So we go to our hailer horn. If you have a hailer horn hooked up to the unit, you can come in here, and this is going to go ahead and you can choose which one you want it to do, whether it's long, whether it's danger, 5 short, maneuvering, port, starboard, and astern, your fog sound signals for underway, overtaking, all of these things. And all you do is you hit the play button right there, and it will play those tones for you. Anchor watch, guys, that's a really, really handy feature if you are a cruiser and you do a lot of anchoring, because this unit has its own GPS antenna. You can turn off the rest of your network, leave this on, and this anchor drag and anchor watch feature will still work. So when you roll up, you go to your spot you're anchored. Obviously, we're moored right now, but if I hit the anchor button right here, highlighted in green, it's now going to say, hey, you are in a 5-to-1 scope. It already knows what our depth is, and it knows our height of our bow roller above the water. So you need a 106-foot radius. And you can see some little green breadcrumbs right there. That's our little breadcrumb trail. So now if we want to go ahead and we want to adjust any of these things here, like where we are, we can look at it from there. We can go here if we want to adjust how much scope we want for our anchor drag area. We can really dial it in or dial it out right there for us, and that will change and let us know. Or if you forgot to set your anchor watch right when you dropped anchor, you can go ahead and actually move your anchor point, and then it will realign that for you. And then when you're done, if you would like to bring your anchor up, you say weigh anchor, bam, anchor comes up. So that's anchor drag. And then we've got mob settings right here, and this lets us know if we need to make the mob DSC call, any of that kind of stuff. We're obviously not going to do that. And then we go into settings. Now this is where you're going to find all of your adjustments. We start off with display. You can have auto brightness on or off, and that's going to allow us to adjust all of this. I like to prefer to leave that to auto brightness so it can automatically go into night mode as well. So then night mode is turned on to auto. There's our DSC call feature, our collision avoidance configuration. This is where you can change those alerts and alarms. You have marina, anchored, harbor, cruising, and offshore. I like marina because then I'm getting a lot less alerts and notifications. Collision avoidance alarm configurations right there. We talked about that. Plotter, we talked about that. On the plotter, we can have it show boats moving stationary, moving away, or only at high risk. So if you're in a high risk, high concentration harbor, only show the ones that are of high risk to you. And then let's see here. You've got your VHF presets. We can talk about the watch mode. And this is if you want to scan all your channels, only your presets, 16 priority watch, any of those. We can change that right there under VHF watch mode. And then the AIS. And then we can come into here and we can go into our NEMA network and our Wi-Fi. And this is the area, let's see, cloud. That's going to come up and let us know if we're connected. Right now it is not, because I have a poor signal where I am at, so it will not receive cloud updates. So we back out of that. And we're going to come in here. We've got internal heading. It's going to let us know, has it been calibrated? It's an automatic calibration on this when you're using the boat. And then satellite, vessel AIS ID, versions, software, all of those kind of things are all going to be right here. All right, guys, I know that was a lot to go through, but if you have one of these radios, it's important to know everything that it can do and how to use some of those features and why you would want to use some of those features. So hopefully you guys found this informative. And if you have any questions about the Vesper Cortex, how to use it, how to set it up, anything like that, leave it down below in the comments. Let's see if we can get that covered for you in a future episode. As always, thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done so yet, make sure to give us a like, follow, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff on YouTube and Instagram at Navtronics. We will see you guys next week. I don't know what we got, but it'll be something cool. You're going to want to tune in. Peace.